when your mind is not your own. Lonely is the night when there's no one left to call. You feel the time is right, say the writing's on the wall, yeah. It's a
This is In the Know for Friday, October 22, the 295th day of 2021. There are 70 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105. On Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com, via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud or iTunes podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We will also get you ready for the East Main Market, the Scare on the Square event. That's today. We'll tell you all about that and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You've already been doing some Christmas shopping. Yes?
Well, you were not supposed to tell anybody.
I was not supposed to tell. I didn't tell who you had bought gifts for. I just said you had been doing some
I'm
shopping.
always a last-minute person.
Yeah.
But I saw some things, and I have purchased at least 5.
That's why I thought it was so remarkable when gifts started arriving. I thought, this is October. Who are you? What have you done with my wife, who normally waits until the last minute? I do need a procedural ground rules question from you, though. Okay. Lego is coming out with an iconic set this holiday season. It's the Home Alone building set. Oh. Now, Legos are really they're a thing that she and I do together. Mm-hmm. So my question is, would you rather have this set to do with her, or would you rather have the enjoyment of watching she and I build the Home Alone set together?
Oh, absolutely. You and her.
So you'd rather be an observer and see it come to life and then be able to enjoy it. Okay, I just didn't know who I needed to give this to, whether I needed to give it to you or whether I needed to give it to her so we could do together.
No.
This says it's only $25. I don't believe that. That must be a misprint. He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's a 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Moscow, Paris, and even Owensboro. He's Sam Gormley and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Well, it's hoodie weather for you,
yes.
Apparently, and it's 2 t-shirt, one long sleeve over one short sleeve t-shirt weather for me. That's my go-to.
This is one of the lone pieces of Grayson County apparel that I've been given.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I got it here.
I could have worn UK blue tonight because of the blue-white game, but I thought no football game this weekend. I'm gonna,
Yeah, I don't know that I really care that much about the blue-white game.
No, I don't either. But it's not really that I'm in mourning, but it's one of those things. Well, I don't have a team to support this weekend. As far as tomorrow, I typically wear UK blue on Fridays. So, are you following along with the Astros? I guess will forever be criticized over being cheaters, even if they aren't continuing to cheat. But since the old trash can gate happened a few years ago, the Astros, people continue to be very picky, and they try to scrutinize everything the Astros do to see if they're trying to get an unfair advantage. Are you familiar with Whistling Gate?
I was reading about this the other day. I think it's just people trying to make something out of nothing.
The Houston Astros are now being accused of cheating with whistling. They're using some type of whistling sound to signal to someone else, whether they're stealing signs or doing whatever. And so there have been, this week, there have been people saying we're hearing them whistling. But if you were for the opposing team, couldn't you sit in the stands and just make a whistling sound to try and get people to think, the Astros are cheating?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think this is what you do about nothing.
We need a whistle detector. We need to be able to, and that lady over there, she doesn't want anybody to whistle about anything.
Ever.
On a rare occasion, I bust out a whistle at her, the old, just to get her attention, because one, because it conflicts her. Does she like the
it?
fact that I go woo-hoo, or does she hate the whistling?
Really?
And so it really conflicts you. What?
It does.
It conflicts you. I know
But we're
that it
saying
does.
on air?
That's well, sure, but I don't do it that often.
No,
It's just
you
more
don't.
like to get like, okay, you don't like whistling, but
No.
you do. Yeah, I think you do like me to tell you that I think you're good looking. So when I do both at the same time, then it's like, well, how are you going to feel about it? Hey, I mentioned Sam says it's hoodie weather, so it's going to feel more like November today than October. We'll see. We'll be locked in under clouds today, most of tonight, and again tomorrow. It's going to be a gloomy Saturday. So just be prepared. But foggy early Sunday with showers before the wind ramps up to allow for a mainly dry and warm afternoon. The main rain will arrive after midnight Sunday into early Monday. So chance of some showers today, about a 30% chance. And a high, we won't get out of the 50s. So pretty much how we started the day is how the day is going to continue, and the evening, and may get into the 40s overnight tonight. Clouds early, clearing late. That clearing is what's going to allow for the low temperature overnight to drop down into the almost mid-40s. Then tomorrow, clouds and the return of a shower. About a 1 in 3 chance of rain for tomorrow, and a high of 60. So really not going to get a whole lot warmer tomorrow than it is today. But then back to a nice, at least temperature-wise, day on Sunday with a high of 77. The search for Brian Laundrie is over, and it would be easy to say that this brings to a conclusion the great mystery of Gabby Petito and her situation in Florida, but I believe that there remain as many questions as there were before, but a couple of questions that have been answered is that Brian Laundrie's life has ended, as has hers. So you can deduce what you want. I think it's one of those things where he probably realized what he had done, and he decided that he was going to take the easy way out when it comes to go ahead and check out instead of waiting for whatever punishment might be awaiting for him, because he was the only suspect in her death. He returned back to Florida on September 1st without her after their van trip across the country. We know there had been physical violence involved because police officers had observed it at some point in time. So it's just pretty obvious to me on what happened to her. And it seems pretty obvious to me now on what happened to him. Now, how far do you want to go? Why did his parents suddenly say a couple of days ago, you know where we should look? And then they drove right to the spot and there he was. Why did they not know this spot a month ago or, previous time? So those are some questions that remain. But as far as where is he alive? That question has been answered. And so just a real tragic story, but it sounds like he had been, I think it was probably he died for whatever reason. And then gators got him rather than gators got him and caused him to die is my understanding of the situation.
I think the area that they found him was underwater.
Yeah. It had
what I was
been.
hearing.
It probably wasn't underwater when he went there because his backpack and his notebook was
Because they
beside
searched
him.
that area, but they couldn't search that area specifically because it was underwater.
So then it got underwater, and then the water went down. The marshlands there in St. Petersburg and that area is just, Florida's just, because of the water table being so low, you never know when you might be underwater anyway. Other kind of national news, we got a little more guidance yesterday from the CDC expanding the booster rollout and an okay to mix shots. Millions more Americans can get a COVID-19 booster starting today and choose a different company's vaccine for the next shot if they want to. I still think that's probably something that your physician is going to want to help talk you through. If it's not urgent that you get one and you have the choice. For me, my experience was fine. So I had the Pfizer vaccine and I didn't, I did very well with both doses of that. For me, I'd be like, well, give me more Pfizer, and like, I wouldn't just like, let's mix it up this time. Let's see which one I might like better. I'm just kind of, the old dance with what brought you.
You don't want to make a cocktail of vaccines?
If you can make the choice, if you have a choice to make, seems like to me,
Can't-
let's just go with what's working.
Can't we make like a third of a dose of Pfizer, a third of Moderna, and a third of Johnson & Johnson?
Can we just keep it simple? I think this is for places where a person goes to get vaccinated or get their booster, and for whatever reason, their supply line is that, well, we don't have the one that you got before, but you need it because you're vulnerable, so it's okay to mix and match. But for me, who doesn't even meet the criteria for a booster right now, I'm going to go, well, whenever there's Pfizer, and if you tell me there's a booster that's available for, or that I'm ready for one, then let's talk. Until then, I'm just not going to, listen, it's taken a lot to get to a point of confidence that you're making the right decision. To me, that just adds more murk, right? It just makes it more cloudy by saying, well, sure, let's roll the dice and see. I can see where there would be reasons that it would be worthy of doing that, because life's all about, risk reward. What's the risk involved? What's the reward involved? We'll figure it out. So if you're wondering, do I or don't I, there are still restrictions on who qualifies and when for a booster. So starting 6 months past their last Pfizer or Moderna vaccination, people are urged to get a booster if they're 65 or older, nursing home residents, or at least 50 and at increased risk of severe disease because of health problems. All right, so if you match that criteria, then that's when you need to start reaching out. Boosters also were allowed but not urged for adults of any age at increased risk of infection because of health problems or their jobs or living conditions.
I know my dad got his booster earlier this week.
I have confidence in getting a booster.
Because I think he was getting a checkup, and the doctor looked down, and it was like, oh, well, it's been 6 months since you've gotten your shot. Do you want a booster?
Yeah.
My dad was like, well, sure. Why not?
Well, and you know me, I'm pretty brand loyal. So Pfizer got me this far. I'm going to stay with the Pfizer.
I didn't know if you want a little Moderna in there.
Nope.
Just
No,
mix
I'm
it
not
up a little
I'm
bit.
not saying Moderna's bad. I'm just saying, listen, I'm a Pfizer patient. There are people they're Ford drivers or they're
So is Pfizer
Chevy
the
drivers or
Cheerios of
whatever.
vaccines for you?
Pfizer is Pfizer and I've gotten along pretty well so far. So until I have reason to do something else, I guess I'm going to stay there. Governor Beshear reported 1,796 new COVID-19 cases, 53 deaths yesterday. It brings us to a two-day total of deaths still above 100. Brings our death toll to 9,530, but the positivity rate stepped on down to 6.53. So we've been dropping about 0.3 of a point about every day. So maybe we'll continue off in that direction. Hospitalizations are down by 23. ICUs are down by 27. Ventilator patients are down by 8. Grayson County's incidence rate flatlined over the previous 2 days. That may be just because no new data to report, or maybe a ripple in the reporting or whatever. But anyway, the same number to present to you as yesterday. But the governor is saying don't get complacent. Deaths still remain too high, but the other metrics are coming down, as we talked about for a couple of days. But he's saying, kind of need to be vigilant, and he's still encouraging people that haven't chosen to be vaccinated to go ahead and make that choice to do so. We're heading in the right direction. Let's not abandon our strategy at the moment. Let's just kind of keep on doing what we're doing. This headline, this headline stood out to me because you're either on board with what the CDC says, or you're probably 180 degrees from what the CDC says these days. But the CDC is involved in a story that has nothing to do with COVID-19, but it's involved in Kentucky. I had not heard of the situation before today, and I don't know really what to make of it. I'm only sharing the information with you because I found it of curious interest that federal health officials have concluded that a 2018 outbreak of flu infections in 3 states was caused by the improper storage, handling, and administration of flu and other common vaccines. The CDC said about 100 patients were affected during workplace vaccination events. They were administered by a third-party provider called Location Vaccination in Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio over several months from 2018 to 2019. Dr. Paul McLaughlin had allowed his unlicensed wife to mishandle the vaccines, causing infections in some patients, according to the Board of Licensure in Kentucky. His wife, Fershinda McLaughlin, was the owner of the vaccine provider. His medical license was placed on probation for 5 years in 2019. The Kentucky Department of Public Health began investigating the company after learning its patients were experiencing pain, swelling, and lumps at their injection sites. So really, though, if you spread 100 people over 3 states and locations, it may take a while to connect the dots and say, what's the commonality between these illness and between these responses? So I didn't know that, the CDC was involved in something like this. Like, I'd never heard of a story that says, why are all these people getting sick? And then they connect the dots. And then here we are in the middle of a pandemic 3 years later from this. And we're still finding out that vaccine storage and people knowing what they're doing or not knowing
we get
what
a lot
they're
better
doing
at all that now.
makes a difference. I would imagine we definitely would be or will be. A report of a suspicious person has led to the arrest of a Louisville man accused of stealing materials from a law enforcement official. Last night, about 10:20, the sheriff's office was notified that a suspicious man had parked in the driveway of a residence on Shrewsbury Road. The man, 35-year-old Joseph Goldsmith, was behaving erratically, had cinder blocks and wood hanging out the trunk of his Dodge Charger.
I kind of did the same thing.
Cinder blocks hanging out the trunk of your Charger?
That's what I'm kind of wondering as
All
well.
right. Okay. Maybe it just left a wedding. You know how they tie cans behind your car when you go to a wedding and you drag them down? I mean, that would probably create sparks on the road, I would think. Well, it's not metal.
Would do some damage, wouldn't it?
Concrete on asphalt, I guess it would be. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. He left the area on Shrewsbury Road, traveled toward Litchfield, and then was followed by the sheriff's office to South Main Street. An investigation revealed the cinder blocks and lumber had been stolen from Grayson County Constable Mark Stanton. He arrived on the scene and identified the items on his list, and the Goldsmith was arrested and charged with theft by unlawful taking, careless driving, and gouging pavement. That should be a charge.
I
don't
can
like
imagine,
it.
yeah,
I don't
no,
like it
no.
when pavement gets
I
gouged.
don't know that of all people to steal from. Why are you stealing from a constable?
I'd like to think he didn't know that, but maybe he did. I don't know.
or if he didn't know, that's bad luck.
Yeah. Kentucky's Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman said yesterday she will step down from her second role as a cabinet secretary to focus more attention on the state's economic development efforts. Since taking office alongside Governor Beshear in 2019, Coleman juggled dual roles as lieutenant governor and secretary of the state's Education and Workforce Development Cabinet. Now, the cabinet's deputy secretary, Mary Pat Reagan, will assume the role of acting secretary as Coleman shifts exclusively to her duties as the state's number 2 elected official. She said, "My focus as lieutenant governor and my commitment to the Beshear-Coleman administration remains the same. It will just look a little different as we respond to the demands of a booming economy." That's code. You want to know what that's code for? We have to run for re-election starting now for next year, and I need more time to campaign. That's what that's code for. Going to be a busy election cycle next year. 5 Kentucky counties are receiving a total of $2 million in grants for water and sewer improvement projects. The 18 projects are in Bracken, Lewis, Fleming, Robertson, and Mason counties. The reason I ask is we talked about water and water quality yesterday. Did Martin County already get money to fix their system?
I don't know. That's northeastern Kentucky, though.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
It's the state and it's the Kentucky. It's the Kentucky Infrastructure. What's it called? The Kentucky Infrastructure Authority. So it's the state. We had an instance earlier where a county helped the system, but now we have a state giving money to like 5 different counties. It just made me wonder if Martin County is still standing there like our water system is broken. Seems like they need money before anyone else. But that's just me. Number 10, Kentucky will look to veterans and transfers for a title run. Kentucky Men's Basketball Media Day was a couple of days ago, and Cal was interviewed. This will be one of the oldest teams Cal has ever had at Kentucky.
It's one of the oldest teams in the country.
It is one of the oldest teams in the country. Yeah, you got
Which is weird.
some veteran. I mean, normally you got a brand new team every year.
Davion Mintz, I think, is like my age.
Really?
Well, you got to think it's his 6th year of college.
Call him Papaw.
Yeah, he's an old man.
Well, I mean, relative to a college basketball program,
Oh,
absolutely.
he's a really. I'm sure. It would not shock me if they call him Grandpa or something like that.
I've got a travel hack for you. It's one that I have learned about that I may use. If you would like to know how to get a whole row to yourself. So, Miss Buckles, you and I have this move. When we fly Southwest and we don't think the flight's going to be full, one of us claims the window seat and one of us claims the aisle seat.
Absolutely.
And then it forces someone to say, I'm going to take the middle seat. And then if they do, one of us will probably move so we can sit together.
Sure.
What the travel guru is saying now is when you shop and you pick seats, if you and I are traveling together, pick one of us for the aisle and one of us for the window, because when someone else comes along to shop for seats, they're less likely to choose the middle seat because they're looking for an aisle or a window somewhere else. So it's most likely to go unfilled. And then even if it does get filled, you can tell that person they can have the window or the aisle, which is probably what they wanted anyway. Is that a good hack?
Well, I do. Yeah, I believe that. I think that makes sense.
I had
mean,
never
and
considered that. I mean,
Really?
well, I mean, when buying them, I always just buy our seats together. I pick, 3A and 3B or 10A or 10B. But if we do 10A and 10C, then it might kind of ensure.
Well, she wants to be at the front of the plane so she can get off right away, right?
She absolutely wants to be at the front of the plane.
Really?
No matter what.
It is true.
She definitely does. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. We're going to talk about tonight's Scare on the Square and East Main Market with Danielle Girardi. She's standing by. We'll tell you all about it coming up here on In the Know.
Attention propane customers. Has your existing provider been hard to reach? Have you had questions that haven't been answered or experienced long wait times and been asked to reply and send emails for customer support? Don't waste any more of your time. Southern States Co-op in Bowling Green will take your call. They will even swap out your existing tank with no charge for removing your current tank. Southern States of Bowling Green is ready to serve your propane needs in Bowling Green and surrounding counties because empty is never an option.
If you're a woman over 40, have you had your annual mammogram? Whether you're a mother, wife, sister, mentor, or friend, you're important to so many in your life. At Owensboro Health, we want to help you live a healthy life with the ones you love. Having an annual screening mammogram is one way to take good care of yourself, because you're worth it. Schedule your screening mammogram online at owensborohealth.org/mammogram.
At WellCare, we help you get and stay your healthy best. You'll get Medicaid coverage with $0 copays and extra benefits at no cost to you, like new glasses every year for adults and kids, free cell phones, and $300 in free health items delivered to your door, and exciting rewards like Amazon Prime memberships and Fitbits. Call to learn more, 1-877-389-9457, or visit wellcare.com/Kentucky. WellCare, beyond healthcare, a better you.
What's the next best thing to free? Half off! HalfOffKentucky.com is having a clearance sale.
You don't have to yell. I'm right here. Don't they already have low prices?
Yeah, but it's an extra 50% off. We gotta sign up at HalfOffKentucky.com. The clearance sale starts Monday, October 25th and runs through midnight on Halloween. Deals from our favorite restaurants like Moe's Southwest Grill and many more.
Wow, says here there's deals on the Comedy Caravan and Renaissance Fun Park too. I'll sign us up at halfoffkentucky.com.
Get ready as the East Main Market presents Scare on the Square this Friday night in Litchfield. Activities including the costume contest registration get underway at 4:30. Plus, you'll want to enjoy the food trucks, vendors, and car show. Then at 6, TNT Construction owner Tina Higdon presents the West Cook Band.
Somebody stole a beer truck. It don't matter who it was. Grab a can and drink it.
Bring your chair and enjoy the show until 10 p.m. on East Main in Litchfield. Admission is free, so we'll see you this Friday as East Main Market presents Scare on the Square and the West Cook Band.
A new poll shows Americans believe Facebook and Twitter do more harm than good. In fact, 70% responded that way when asked in a survey done by Quinnipiac University. Only 20% believe the social media giants do more good than harm. Those who were surveyed also didn't like how Facebook has handled misinformation. Walgreens will soon be making deliveries by drone in the Dallas area. They've teamed up with Google's drone division called Winged, which will do the flying.
This will be the first time a commercial drone delivery service has ever been available in a major U.S. metro.
Spokesman Jacob Demmett says the drone deliveries start next week. San Jose has received 3 downtown parcels of property from Google to build affordable housing. Google gave the city property near the SAP Center, according to documents filed on Monday. Officials say Google decided to give the properties to the city ahead of schedule. That's your Tech Report. Trey Thomas, NBC.
I've got Southern comfort running through my veins.
Today is International Caps Lock Day. That is not license to use the caps lock all day long. Just use it for something.
There's some people that use it all day long, 24/7.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy.
It's Smart as Cool Day today. Yeah, it is. And I regret that tomorrow falls on a Saturday. It's Slap Your Coworker Silly Day tomorrow. I always like it when I don't typically work on Saturdays.
Be with your coworker tomorrow, right?
Oh, you know.
Oh.
Listen, I'll slap you
Really?
before I'll slap her. I promise you.
Oh, I knew that. I fully expect that.
I'll slap back.
You might slap back, Sam, but she definitely will slap.
Oh,
back.
and she'll probably slap back hard, too.
Absolutely. Want to say good morning to Danielle Urardi. She joins us by phone. She's the coordinator. I'm going to call her the Queen Honcho of the East Main Market. Is that right? I don't know what I called you last time, but Queen Honcho sounds better, doesn't it?
Whatever you pick, Mark, I'll go with it.
That's good. Good to talk to you again. I took the week off or the month off in September, Honeyfest and all that good stuff, and now going to get back and have a great fall evening on the square for East Main Market. I know it's you're kind of reflecting, I guess, on this last season, looking back to May and all the way through the calendar. Ahead of tonight's event, what are your feelings about this 2021 season of East Main Market?
Mark, we're super happy about the event, how it turned out. Every month turned out probably a little better than the last. I mean, we're completely pleased with it. We're pleased with all the support the communities gave us. It's just been great. We're looking forward to doing even better next year.
Anytime that you kind of review, you do a little report card and you say, here's what worked and here's maybe what needs some areas of focus or needs a shot in the arm or we need to revisit. Are there things already that you have in mind that you want to try and implement next year that just builds on the success of this year?
Absolutely. We're actually going to move this event to a Saturday next year and try that. I want to go all day with it. Because I noticed with my vendors that were actually selling stuff, once the people grabbed their food and sat down in their chair to start watching the band, they didn't really get up and shop.
Okay.
And I really want that for the whole festival as well. So we're going to do the vendors in the daytime on Saturday and maybe a little acoustic set, maybe one food truck, and then roll them out for a couple hours to clear that out and bring in the main band and the stage and the food and the drink truck. And kind of try it that way and see how that goes. I want to try to please everybody and get every different crowd in there. So that's kind of where we're going to go with it next year.
People, obviously, they want, from a social standpoint, they want to gather and they want to have a good time and they need, they want destinations and things to fill up their schedule and their calendar with. But ultimately, this doesn't work unless it's an economic driver for all people involved. So my question is this, to the downtown area merchants and trying to, revitalize and rebuild, has it been effective in making that area of our community more relevant throughout the year by way of using this event as a reason to draw people downtown?
I do believe it definitely is, Mark, and I also believe moving it to the Saturday and having the daytime with those businesses can be open and people can just continue to walk all around the square and shop around the square plus down East Main Market. So I think next year going this route with it will even bring the square into it more, which is what we want.
You've had these weird intersections with various events, I guess existing calendar events that have already been held. And this is East Main Market's kind of been an overlay. And this is one of those weird months where Scare on the Square, which, has gone on for the past few years, and East Main Market, the schedules and the initiatives kind of align. What are you all doing to co-locate those events tonight with the Scare on the Square?
Well, tonight we didn't have a local number opening up, so that's why we kind of decided to go together and let them do the contest where the local band usually is in the beginning, and then just kind of bring them in with us. Originally, I don't think they were going to have one this year, but they decided they wanted to do something. So they approached us and asked if they could join us, and we were more than happy to have them. And we're just tickled to death to have the two combine and have something for, the Scare on the Square as well.
That kind of using my touch point that we talked about in July when I was complimentary about the consistency. Any event when trying to get off the ground and become a tradition, it's tough to do for 2 or 3 years and then take a year off, and it's just people don't know, are you or aren't you? So having even some modified version, even if it can't be the full-fledged version, I think is important, and you get some synergies in that. Maybe people who wouldn't have come to East Main Market are coming because they love Halloween, they love to dress up, then they get there and they realize, hey, this is a great event, and it just paves the way for momentum as you roll into 2022. So I know that has to be exciting, of new faces that you're going to see tonight.
That's right. Absolutely. Every month we do have some new faces of people that hear about it, the last month and want to come out and try it. So we're excited about tonight to see what combining these two events brings out.
Registration for the Halloween costume contest, I think, is about 4:30 today. And
yes.
Have you selected your costume yet?
I have not. My costume is walking up and down the street all night. That's
really?
with my East Main Market shirt on. I don't know how much more I'm going to put on than that.
All right, that's very good. And then after,
but we welcome all the costumes. I'm excited to see the costumes.
Well, sure, it'll be a spectacle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It will. It'll be fun for sure.
You got food trucks coming back, and what else?
To the city and the tourism and the mayor and Wes and Aaron at Public Works for helping us this season. Mm-hmm. Also, the Sicilian Bank for letting us use their parking lot. That was a big, we really appreciate that with them. And the police department. We loved their presence being there, and we're just really excited about everybody in the community that jumped in and was so helpful with this.
It takes a lot of cooperation to organize and build great events like this. And I'll let you go. We'll continue promoting the particulars the rest of the day. But was it you who stole the beer truck? That's what we need to know before you go.
That stole the beer truck?
Well, we've been hearing this Wes Cook band sing about somebody stole a beer truck all week. That's the big hit, and we're just wondering, was it you who stole the beer truck?
It
okay.
wasn't me.
Oh, now you're singing a Shaggy song. It wasn't me. By the way, it's Shaggy's birthday today, so we'll talk more about that later. Danielle, congratulations on all the success of East Main Market. Good luck tonight, and we can't wait to rejoin and revisit you rolling into 2022.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you. That's Danielle Urardi, Clean Honcho, East Main Market in Litchfield tonight. Guess where it is? You all know where East Main Market is?
East Main Street.
I'm aware.
Look at you, Sam, Mr. Context, the East Main Market. Also, some people will be headed to Owensboro tonight for the Cougar football district matchup, Cougars and Red Devils.
Red Devils
at Rash Stadium.
Correct.
I got a sneak peek yesterday at the series history. Cougars have defeated Owensboro in football once.
2010. And they won that one 28-22. It was in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
Back in 2010.
In week 2, I guess, or maybe week 3 of the season, Owensboro got a lot of attention because Gavin Wimsett left early, went to Rutgers to sign an NIL deal and join Rutgers early. So then everybody kind of wondered, well, what's going to happen to Owensboro? I won't say they haven't missed a beat, but they've continued to be very successful.
Yeah, I asked Coach Jones something along the lines of, there probably isn't many schools in the entire state that would lose a D1 starting quarterback and continue on rolling like nothing even happened. Casey Boone is now their new starting quarterback, and he isn't going to run as much as Wimsett, but he's 40 of 65, 633 yards, 9 touchdowns, but 5 interceptions, so he's a little wild at times. But he's still just kind of filled in as a very successful passer, but they're going to run the ball a lot tonight as well.
So the Cougars coming off of a big victory last week, and obviously they Owensboro has their attention. They know that it's a big challenge going into tonight's game. But let me ask you, kind of line up for us. This 2021 season is on final approach, trying to land. In the final 2 weeks of the regular season, how are things lining up? What are the implications for tonight? And what does the postseason? What does tonight have postseason implications? Is my question.
I mean, if Grayson County wins, they're in the playoffs, guaranteed. No matter what, doesn't matter what happens. Now, if they lose, which is, Owensboro is one of the top teams in the entire state. The Breckinridge County, Ohio County game is the one to watch for. If Breck wins, Grayson is in the playoffs no matter what happens, and they'll head to Owensboro again in 2 weeks. Because that would be Grayson and Ohio. Grayson would finish at 2-3. Ohio County would finish at 1-4, while Breck would finish at 3-2.
Don't we have to think Breck County is the favorite?
You would presume.
Yeah.
You would presume. If Ohio County beats Breck, then there's a 3-way tie at 2-3, and that's when the calculus comes out.
All right. Yeah.
Which
do I need a slide rule?
I'm
you
already
might-
confused,
The
like so
abacus.
much.
But no, I think Grayson is in a really good position. The team that would more than likely be getting left out in this situation would be Breck, because Breck has only won district games, and their last game of the season is against Edmondson. And what they do is they take the wins of your non-district games, so the amount of wins the opponents have that you won in your non-district games.
Wait a minute. Let me carry the one.
Yeah,
Here,
right.
real quick.
Yeah,
Okay.
calculus.
All right, I carried the one. All right.
And
go ahead.
Grayson's biggest win is McLean County, who I believe has 4 wins at this point, at least last time I checked. And then next week they'll play Hart County, and I think Hart has 3. So if Grayson would beat Hart County, that would give them 7 points.
Okay. So, but basically, if Breck County wins tonight over Ohio County,
no calculus needs to be
Grayson
done.
County's in the playoffs. And I understand football is not linear.
Correct.
But if you just look at Breck County versus Grayson County, and you look at Ohio County versus Grayson County, it should say Breck County defeats Ohio County.
Should.
2
years ago, though, Breckinridge County beat Ohio County when we were in the same situation where Ohio County was going to be the winner and Grayson needed all the help and all of that. So
there could be some favor returning going on.
Correct.
All right.
Correct. And I think Ohio County, Grayson played very, very well last week.
All right.
Very
good.
well last week.
What else is going on in Cougar sports that's relevant that we need to talk about this morning?
Volleyball's district runner-up.
Okay.
They head next week to the third region tournament, which I believe is at Owensboro Catholic, because last year Owensboro Catholic was supposed to host the region, but with attendance limitations, their gym is incredibly small, so it didn't make sense because they weren't going to be able to get even a small capacity crowd in that gym to have any number of people. So Grayson took over last year, and I think Owensboro Catholic got moved to this year. And then other than that, we're kind of in that weird little downspout until basketball started practice last week, so they're getting ready to roll. And I think Meet the Cougar Night for them is coming up like November 19th.
Right.
So
Okay.
we're kind of in that weird little limbo.
So kind of pretty much all about football right now.
Football and
for the next couple of
volleyball.
weeks
Volleyball
and
has region,
all
and
that.
then after region, then it is all football.
Another news item that's, I guess, kind of Cougar sports-esque. It's Grayson County High School relevant, if that makes any sense. You may have heard about a major traffic jam around Grayson County High School yesterday, and it's when the band boosters announced that if you still had a crock pot at the high school, you needed to come get it.
I can't even.
Because
All you mamas.
everybody had to show up to get their crock pot. There was a traffic jam. It took an hour and a half to clear down on Schoolhouse Road. So thanks for the Cougar Sports Report, Sam. Good luck to the Cougars tonight. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
Kentucky has 80,000 miles of roadway. That's a lot of pavement. It's also a lot of looking out for your neighbor. Being a safe driver means yielding to pedestrians and cyclists, especially when turning, stopping for pedestrians at crosswalks, giving bikes safe distance, and always keeping your eyes on the road. Drive safe, Kentucky. A message from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
Hey, everybody, it's time for a new season to start. That's right, Connect Open Enrollment is here, and everyone can get in the game. Whether you're looking for quality, affordable health coverage for you and your family, or any of our helpful benefits and resources, Connect is on your side. Enrollment kicks off on November 1st, so go to connect.ky.gov and go Team Kentucky. Connect, together for a better Kentucky.
On the basketball court, you have to know where the lines are. It's just as important to know where the lines are in your own yard. Kentucky law generally requires you to have underground utility lines located before most excavation work, even if it's on your own property. If you don't call 811 and you damage a natural gas line, the Kentucky Public Service Commission will investigate you, and you may be fined up to $1,250. Much better to stay within the bounds of the law and call before you dig to start putting in that backboard or goalpost. For more information, visit psc.ky.gov. This message brought to you by the Kentucky Public Service Commission.
The federal government provides $150 billion a year to make higher education possible for anyone. Completing the free application for federal student aid, known as the FAFSA, is the first step to getting your share. But an estimated $40 million in financial aid is left on the table each year by Kentucky students. Don't let that happen to you.
Fill out the new and improved FAFSA today. Visit knowhowtogoky.org and join the conversation on Twitter, #KnowHowToPayKY. This message is brought to you by the Pritchard Committee Student Voice Team and the Council on Post-Secondary Education.
There are moments when doors of opportunity open. Moments when barriers are broken. Moments when you're called to provide hope for someone in need. Moments when you harness something deep inside. Moments when you're drawn to a cause greater than yourself. Moments when champions are born. At the University of Kentucky, this is who we are. This is what we do.
Another week brings another chance for the Grayson County Cougars to shake up the world as they travel to Owensboro for a district showdown against the Red Devils. The Cougs look to stun the state and hand the Red Devils their first district loss in 4 years. I'm Sam Gormley. Join me Friday night for all of the action live from Owensboro. Coverage begins with the Locker Room Show at 6:30. Watch live via K105 Digital Productions or always live on K105.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather.
Some areas of drizzle and light rain are possible this afternoon as we keep some clouds overhead. Highs today mainly in the 50s. For tonight, we fall down into the 40s across our region. Tomorrow, clouds roll right back in and we'll see highs mainly into the 50s once again. From the Wave 3 News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
With it in the air, the wind is taking it everywhere. Yeah. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Did you know? Research shows that if you touch an item in a store, you're much more likely to buy it. And if you make contact with it,
that
you
makes
go,
sense.
Oh, that
Yeah.
feels good, or that.
I can kind of see that.
If you can keep your distance with it, it's some type of human barrier. Like, I'm not making contact with you, but if I touch it, embrace it, feel it, get a tactile kind of feeling, I'm going, yeah, I'm going to take this home.
No, and I think that's kind of the thing about the registers, end caps, whatever. You're sitting there, you're waiting to get checked out. You're more likely to touch.
Pick it up and look at
And
it. There you go.
The peanut M&Ms are calling your name there.
Yeah, I mean, there's, yeah.
Also, and the odds, the sales conversion on test drives of cars, like if you'll test drive a car, the odds of you buying that particular car go way up than if you just look at it and walk around it and kick the tires. There's certain percentage of people that buy those cars.
I know I test drove one car when I bought my new car, and it's the one that I have.
You test drive it, then you bond.
Mm-hmm.
You bond with it. It's
Yeah.
like bonding with your mama.
You don't want me
'Cause they
to
show you-
test drive a new car.
Show all those features.
That's right. Today's movie premieres. Dune is out in theaters today. It's a PG-13 adventure. Okay.
Never heard of it?
Well, I have, because HBO Max has been pestering me, telling me it's coming out, it's coming out.
Anybody
it's coming
in
out.
it like that matter?
Let's see. Dune stars Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya.
Oh, you know what? I think I have seen a preview for that.
Is this a remake of Dune? There was when I was a kid, there was a movie called
I have no
Dune.
idea.
Ron's Gone Wrong, PG family comedy.
Nope.
I'm gonna have to tell. It's Zach Galifianakis and Ed Helms.
Oh, okay. Well, I like both of them.
But
Is
I'm
that
gonna
really
have to,
family?
So, huh? Well, I don't know, but Taylor's daughter Taylor's father-in-law, his name is Ron. So maybe they can make a thing out of that. Ron's gone wrong. And if it's got Zalafenakis and Helms in it.
Are they between two ferns at all during this?
No, I don't know. They might have changed it up. They might be between two hibiscus in this movie. And The French Dispatch is new in the cinema today. It's an R-rated drama comedy starring Benicio del Toro, Adrian Brody, and Tilda Swinton. I at least recognize the people who are in
all those movies.
I know at least one person in all three of those movies, which I frequently can't say in this day and time. See that tragedy about Alec Baldwin firing a prop gun on a movie set and killing the principal photographer or cinematographer?
I can't imagine that. That's horrible.
These prop guns, especially in filming westerns, where they're more likely to use revolvers or bolt action or rifles, so these guns have gunpowder, but they have no projectile. But if you're within 20 feet of them, they are still dangerous. And so he apparently fired one too close to someone else and didn't realize what was happening, and it was a movie set mistake, and she died, and then another person was injured.
It's terrible. I can't imagine what he's going through.
Saw a photo of him, and it's extremely distraught.
Yeah, I saw. I heard a report that he was just sitting on the side of the road, just like with his head in his hand in his head.
Yeah, law enforcement questioned him, and then released him. They have to go through the processes of doing the investigation. Anytime anyone dies, especially as a result of anything related to a shooting, whether it's a prop gun or not. Also news that if you've seen The Many Saints of Newark and kind of wet your whistle for a prequel to The Sopranos prequel TV show is in early talks at HBO Max. They've kind of done bookends, where The Sopranos picks up in HBO form from 20 years ago, and now the other bookend is there on where The Many Saints of Newark when Tony was a teenager, and so they may fill in the gaps between those two, but it will be in serial television format. That is
without James Gandolfini, though.
Well, I mean, his son.
Was his son good?
Yeah, his son did a fine job. I mean, did well enough, and a lot of pressure on him too. Carry the mantle forward on that.
Following
character.
a legend, I guess you could say.
So that's right. A little bit easier when it's your father.
Is it easier or harder?
I think it's easier because you still get a lot of benefit of the heritage. Like you get we know that it's in the DNA. We know that you studied. When an outsider comes in, and you follow a legend, people are less forgiving. They're more, Snoop Dogg has teased his Super Bowl performance 2 days in a row. Snoop Dogg gets mentioned on the show. He says it'll be one of the greatest halftime shows you ever witnessed. He said that me, Dr. Dre, and Eminem, not me, him, not me.
So you're not performing at the Super Bowl halftime show?
I know people mix us up. Like if we were standing in line at the store, and I was there and Snoop Dogg was there, you all would have a hard time figuring out which one is Snoop Dogg. So anyway, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Eminem,
I can see it,
had a light absolutely. Both major receding hairlines. He says, but I tell you that it's going to be one of the greatest Super Bowl halftime shows that you ever witnessed. Dr. Dre is in on it, and he's putting his time together with the specifics and the dynamics of what we're doing. He says that was a starting conversation, and between now and early February, they'll be working on it in earnest to put on a great show.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
In L.A.?
Yes, that's right. I mean, certainly better than Coldplay.
Oh, I enjoy Coldplay. It wasn't terrible.
It's too much Coldplay. Like Coldplay should have been able to do like 2 songs and move. They should have been part of an ensemble, not the whole thing. At least in my opinion. Now, you can put all the Coldplay you want in Ted Lasso. That seems to fit. That's kind of their
Mumford & Sons in there too.
Yeah, exactly. They do the theme. All right, famous television couples. Or just famous couples in history. Romeo and Juliet. That's one.
Pam and Jim.
Pam and Jim. Oh. Ross and Rachel. Lucy and Desi. Yes.
Yeah.
Leslie
and Ben, right, from Parks and Rec?
Yeah, I don't know that one show, but yeah.
Please tell me that you know who Lucy and Desi are.
Yeah, you look like who? Lucille Ball.
Oh, I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy and Desi, yeah. And Ricky and all that, but they were in real life. They were Lucy and Desi. I mean, who doesn't if anyone says romantic couple, it has to be Ozzy and Sharon. Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne, their love story is getting a feature film.
Didn't they split?
No, they got back together.
I thought he stroked out.
On again, off again. Well, they won't be acting in the story. There will be people portraying them. But is their love story one that's worthy of cinematic glory? I'm asking. I don't know.
I guess it's better than some of the other stuff that's in there.
I think this is where Misty would say, Sharon!
Probably.
I don't know the show. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Finish it up for the week here on In the Know.
When life gets tough, where do you find the strength to keep going? Here's one of the secrets to success. Just get to the next tree. There's a military training school in Vermont that puts soldiers through some of the most unbelievable physical and emotional tests you can imagine. The challenge that produces the highest dropout rate is a rigorous hike up a snow-packed mountain with a heavy rucksack on their backs. The soldiers are given no special equipment. Their only tool for success is determination. The men trudge up the hill through knee-deep snow, and within 100 yards, some of them find the struggle to be too much. And that's when the instructor tells the men, if you want to fail, focus on the top of the mountain. If you want to succeed, just get to the next tree, then the next one. Do that again and again until you reach the top of the mountain. And that's how you reach a big goal. You pursue one small goal at a time. You write a book one word at a time. You stay sober one day at a time. You restore your marriage one counseling session at a time. And some days, the next tree may be getting through this day, this hour, even this prayer with hope. And that's how it is when you're struggling. Things are so tough you feel like you're standing at the bottom of a mountain and staring at the very top. And the climb seems impossible, but you can make it to the top. Just get to the next tree. For more to help you thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Get ready as the East Main Market presents Scare on the Square this Friday night in Litchfield. Activities including the costume contest registration get underway at 4:30. Plus, you'll want to enjoy the food trucks, vendors, and car show. Then at 6, TNT Construction owner Tina Higdon presents the West Cook Band.
Somebody stole a beer truck. It don't matter who it was. Grab a can and drink it.
Bring your chair and enjoy the show until 10 p.m. on East Main in Litchfield. Admission is free, so we'll see you this Friday as East Main Market presents Scare on the Square and the West Cook Band.
Hey, everybody, it's time for a new season to start. That's right. Connect Open Enrollment is here, and everyone can get in the game. Whether you're looking for quality, affordable health coverage for you and your family, or any of our helpful benefits and resources, Connect is on your side. Enrollment kicks off on November 1st, so go to connect.ky.gov and go Team Kentucky. Connect, together for a better Kentucky.
If you still listen to 8-track tapes and watch black and white television, then I bet you still use a phone to request underground utility line locations. Well, that's old school. Now everything is done online, including contacting 811 before you dig. Making a request online is faster, easier, and just as free as calling. Before you dig, on the job site or at home, notify 811 online at Kentucky811.org. That's Kentucky811.org.
When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed help in any way.
MB's Point to Ponder today is really a ponderance that I'm going to toss over to one Christy J. Buckles.
Oh, dear.
So here's the question. Your ear, first I'll start with a statement. The statement is your ears are overtuned.
Absolutely.
Yes, very sensitive ears.
Yes.
So now a question. Does the hairdryer hurt your ears? Like when you blow dry your hair, does it hurt your ears?
No.
Interesting. Because for a lot of women, according to Woman's World, if you're having a hard time hearing, your blow dryer could be to blame. Most women don't realize that hair dryers are among the top causes of hearing loss because they are about 7 times louder than the average conversation, which is more than enough to damage your ears.
Makes sense.
Does it? Not for me.
When you stand next to a jet engine or those high frequencies and all those decibel levels right there at your ear. And so it's actually, according to this article in Woman's World, just like you do when you're trying to block out noise, it suggests using earplugs when you blow dry your hair.
It makes sense to me.
To protect your ears.
Well, I flip my hair over and I blow dry.
I flip mine back and forth. You flip yours over when you, but it still doesn't protect your ears.
Well, I'm not blow drying toward my ears.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I was just trying to be helpful and help.
I don't think that applies to
help
me.
protect your ears. Oh, you're the one. You're the exception
Maybe.
to the rule. All right. Well, that's good. Let's see. On television tonight, I got to help set up Dennis and Sarah Cook's weekend. Dennis and Sarah are waiting for me to tell them what they're going to be viewing.
Cougar football against Owensboro tonight.
So tonight on the Hallmark Channel, Dennis and Sarah Cook will be watching You, Me, and the Christmas Trees. An arborist falls in love with a farmer as she tries to save his trees before the town tree lighting.
Haven't we seen this one before?
I wonder if they met on farmersonly.com. Dennis, please let me know after you watch it. I'll need a movie report. Go on Rotten Tomatoes and do a review. Hallmark also has tomorrow Boyfriends of Christmas Past.
Well, doesn't he have to do the review on IMDb since he's now a
That's true. He's a card-carrying member. He has his own IMDb page. Saturday Night Live may be the highlight of the weekend, television-wise.
Ted Lasso, right?
Yeah, Jason Sudeikis and musical guest Brandi Carlile will be on Saturday Night Live.
She's pretty good.
Then Sunday night on Hallmark Channel, The Santa Stakeout. The Season 5 premiere of Insecure on HBO on Sunday evening, and the Season 11 premiere of Curb Your Enthusiasm on HBO on Sunday evening.
Do you watch Curb?
I don't.
You don't?
I've watched a few episodes over the years, but I've even downloaded it for a while.
Do you not like Larry David?
What's weird is I like Larry David, but his neuroses makes me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it can be just a really small dose. It was well packaged in Seinfeld in the form of George Costanza, but there's something about his neuroses it's just so much on Curb Your Enthusiasm that I think it makes me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never seen it because I don't have HBO, but I know a lot of people that really like it.
I mean, the premise makes me laugh, but I just think it's too much. It's too much for me personally. I just, whatever. Today's highlight in history, this date in 2014, a gunman shot and killed a soldier standing guard at a war memorial in Ottawa. In 1836, Sam Houston was inaugurated as the first constitutionally elected president of the Republic of Texas. Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises was first published this date in 1926. Apollo 7 returned safely from orbit in 1968. President Reagan signed into law sweeping tax overhaul legislation in 86. Birthdays today. I think this will make maybe 2-3 days in a row that Christopher Lloyd, Back to the Future gets mentioned. Christopher Lloyd played Doc Brown. Also played Reverend Jim on Taxi. That was a great character. He's 83 today. Jeff Goldblum is 69. Bob Odenkirk from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul fame is 59 today. Also had a hard time recovering from
a heart attack.
Was it a heart attack? Or was it COVID or was it a combination of the two?
No, it was because he collapsed on set filming Better Call Saul.
Gotcha. Toby Mac is 57 today. Shelby Lynn is 53. Shaggy is 53 today.
It wasn't me.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson is 46. And Jonathan Lipnicki is 31. I need to take the time today to look up a current picture of Jonathan Lipnicki because he's just forever, to me, the human head weighs 8 pounds. And birds and dogs can smell fear.
I love it.
Jerry Maguire is the little kid in Jerry Maguire. Sam, have you seen Jerry Maguire?
No.
Oh, Sam, you got to see Jerry Maguire. You don't even know where You Had Me From at Hello came from. You don't know the famous movie line, You Had Me at Hello. You don't know where it came from.
Nope.
Curly Howard was born this date in 1903. I can't believe Sam's never seen Jerry Maguire.
All right, so I think he has homework.
Show me the money.
I have
Cuba
a
Gooding
list.
Jr., show me the money.
I have a list. Ken Hallett every day comes in. Have you ever seen this movie? No.
Well,
Annette
but Ken always has
Funicello
the most random movies.
Was born this date in 1942. Did you say Ken Hallett is a rando?
He liked random movies.
Oh,
He's a big random movie fan.
Right.
I mean, some people might think that he's a rando. I mean,
okay.
You said it, not me.
It wasn't me. In 1959,
Take a guess.
Bobby Darin was number one. Say when the shark bites.
Thank
you. I didn't want the live version. Let's go with the remastered version of this. 1968.
Don't make it bad. Take a side.
Hey Judy, Judy.
Make it better.
Your second favorite Beatles song?
Would
If
be my
Yesterday
first.
was number one, I thought you said 2 days ago Yesterday was your favorite Beatles song.
I don't think I did.
Okay.
I would probably pick Come Together.
All right.
Here Comes the Sun.
It's pretty good too. Carly Simon from the James Bond movie The Spy Who Loved Me. Number one this date in 1977.
This isn't one of the better Bonds. Do you not think so? Or is that one of your
The
favorites?
Spy Who Loved Me, and it paved the way. It set up the Austin Powers movie, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Oh, come on, Sam.
Goldfinger.
Goldfinger is great. There's no doubt. But The Spy Who Loved Me, the best Roger Moore Bond movie, without a doubt. 1986, Tina Turner, number one, The Typical Male.
She's great hair. Great hair.
What about her selling her catalog for $40 million? Or
I missed that.
She sold her catalog a couple of weeks ago. She said it was better while she's alive to sell her catalog because her family could use the money more than them trying to sell it after she's gone. So I was like, okay, whatever works. Janet Jackson, number one, Runaway in 95. And I'm not missing it today. In 2013, Katy Perry, number one, with Roar. I mean, sometimes I get to the end, I don't have time to do the Katy Perry songs, but I'm doing it today.
Love it.
I love this song.
That's a good one.
And every time we play it, I mention at the end, you hear a note that you don't hear anywhere else if you hear it in the end and you listen really close. She takes it way upstairs. Might even break glass.
Is it not in Dennis Cook's new album? Because I heard you got a little sneak peek, right?
Yeah, I will tell you. I did not get to hear Adele's new album like Drake did, but I have heard Dennis's new album.
So does he not hit that note?
I'm waiting. He gets almost there.
Almost.
Yeah, I intend to take it up with him on Tuesday. When I was kind of sworn to secrecy, and now you've outed me, Sam. People are going to be pestering me, wanting me to share.
I didn't say how much of
album.
it. I just heard. I knew you got one song at least, right?
I have all of it.
Oh, wow.
It's just, I even have mix outs. I have
Wow.
variations. Here comes the remix. I got it all.
Are you going to remix it? You could text Snoop. Snoop and Dennis C. Cook.
Cook Ranch Music could have a spot on the stage at the halftime show.
Well, I know one Dennis C. Cook's oldest son was in the studio yesterday, and the first thing he noticed was the picture of Snoop above your shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah. The autograph picture of Snoop, by the way. Isn't it?
Is it autographed?
Did the autograph wear off? I thought it was autographed. Sorry. All right, MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. It's not autographed. It was at one point.
Well,
the Taylor Swift photo is autographed.
Yes, it is.
MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Who is the happier man? He who has braved the storm of life and lived, or he who has stayed on the shore and merely existed? So are you happier if you've braved the storms of life and lived, or if you stayed on the shore and had it easy? You got to decide for yourself. That's MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here on Monday for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes,